Welcome everyone to TechSphere. Ready for a deep dive into e-commerce? Today we're tackling the top 6 PHP open source e-commerce platforms for building your online store in 2025.
Sounds pretty intense.
It is. But don't worry, we've got an awesome guide. Remember that AltaHost blog article you sent?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It is. It's packed with insight, so we're using that as our roadmap today. Whether you're just starting out or thinking of switching things up, picking the right platform is, well,
mission critical?
exactly. It can make or break your online business. It's kind of like
Using a car, you wouldn't pick a sports car to haul furniture.
Exactly. You need the right tool for the job. So this deep dive should help you figure out which of these platforms is your perfect match. The article highlights Magento, WooCommerce, Drupal, Joomla, PrestaShop, and OpenCart. Lots to cover. But first,
User friendliness. That's got to be a top priority for a lot of people.
absolutely, not everyone's a coding guru.
Right. Luckily, some platforms are super beginner friendly. Take WooCommerce, for example. It works seamlessly with WordPress, so if you're familiar with that.
You're already halfway there.
Exactly. Plus, WooCommerce has this really intuitive interface, tons of themes and extensions, so you can make your store look exactly how you want, even without any coding knowledge.
Perfect for those who are, let's say, visually inclined. But what if you're expecting huge growth, like massive traffic and tons of orders?
Scalability. You've got to think about that for sure. That's where Magento comes in, or Adobe Commerce as they call it now.
So Magento is for the big leagues.
Pretty much. It can handle tons of traffic and transactions, no problem. Think of it as the heavy-duty truck of e-commerce platforms.
Got it. Packed with features, ready to handle anything you throw at it. But of course, none of that matters if you can't.
Get paid.
Yeah. Payment gateways, they're kind of important.
Definitely. And that's something to keep in mind with OpenCart. It's user-friendly, sure, but it doesn't have as many payment gateway options compared to some of the others.
Interesting. So maybe not the best fit if you're selling internationally and need to accept payments from all over.
Exactly. You need those options. And speaking of things that can make or break your experience, what about customer support?
Oh, I've had my fair share of bad customer support experiences. It's the worst, especially when you're dealing with technical issues.
Absolutely. Good customer support is so important. And some platforms excel in that area. Drupal, for instance, has a very active and supportive community. So if you run into trouble, chances are someone's already been there and can help you out.
It's like having a built-in tech support team.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a good overview. Now, let's dive deeper into each platform, starting with Magento. What makes it so special?
Well, Magento's sell anywhere capability is pretty amazing. It's like, instead of managing separate platforms for your online store, Amazon, and social media, you can control it all from Magento.
Wow, that's a game changer. So efficient.
Yeah.
What about WooCommerce? We talked about it being user-friendly, but what else does it bring to the table?
The themes and extensions, honestly, are a huge plus. It's perfect for those who really care about how their store looks and feels. You can customize everything.
Awesome. And how about Drupal? That's its superpower.
Drupal is all about security. It's got all these enterprise-level features, like really granular control over who can access what information. So if you're dealing with sensitive customer data...
Peace of mind is guaranteed?
Exactly. You know your data is safe. Joomla, on the other hand, is all about flexibility. It has tons of plugins. You can customize it to do just about anything you need. And it's great for SEO, so you can attract more organic traffic.
Which is always a good thing.
Definitely. Then we have PrestaShop. Now, this one's perfect if you're on a budget. It's affordable, easy to customize, so it's a great starting point for entrepreneurs.
Awesome. And last but not least, OpenCart. We talked about its limited payment gateways, but are there any advantages?
For sure. OpenCart is incredibly intuitive. It's super easy to use, even if you're a complete beginner.
So we've got quite the lineup. It's amazing how diverse these platforms are.
It really is, and that's the beauty of open source, right? There's something for everyone, no matter your experience level or budget.
It's amazing how these platforms have really leveled the playing field for online businesses.
Right. Like, you don't need a huge team of developers and a ton of money to get started anymore.
It's incredible. And the open source community is constantly evolving and improving these platforms.
Yeah, it's like this giant brain trust, constantly working to make things better for everyone.
And it's not just about the development. It's the support, too. All those forums and communities.
Oh yeah, those are invaluable. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, you can always find help and advice from other users.
I can't even count how many times I've turned to those forums to troubleshoot a problem. It's amazing how helpful people are.
It really shows the power of community, right? People genuinely want to help each other succeed.
Speaking of things that are crucial for success, let's talk about hosting.
Oh yeah, hosting. That's the foundation of your online store.
Why is it so important, specifically for e-commerce?
Well, for starters, it directly impacts the speed and reliability of your site. And in today's world, speed is everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of abandoning a shopping cart if a website takes too long to load.
It happens all the time. Even a 1-second delay can lead to a huge drop in sales.
Yeah, that's crazy. So a fast and reliable hosting provider is non-negotiable.
Absolutely. And it's not just about speed, it's about security too.
Right, we talked about how important security is, especially for e-commerce sites handling sensitive data.
Exactly. You're dealing with credit card information, personal details. You need a hosting provider that takes security seriously.
So what should businesses look for when choosing a hosting provider?
Well, first and foremost, reliability and uptime. You want a provider that guarantees your site will be up and running almost 100% of the time.
So like 99.9% uptime.
Yeah, at least. Anything less. And you risk losing sales due to downtime.
Makes sense. What else is important?
Excellent customer support. When something goes wrong, you need to know you can get help quickly.
Right, because time is money, especially when your store is down.
Exactly. 24/7 support is essential. And remember, you often get what you pay for. Don't skimp on hosting.
It's an investment in your peace of mind.
Exactly. And the success of your business.
Now let's talk about something that can really make or break your online store. Design and user experience.
Yes. First impressions matter. If your website looks outdated or clunky, people aren't going to trust you.
Yeah, it's all about creating a professional and visually appealing online presence.
Absolutely. But it's not just about looks, it's about user experience too.
Right, like how easy it is to navigate the site, find products, and complete a purchase.
Exactly. You want to make the whole experience as smooth and enjoyable as possible.
Because if it's frustrating, people will just go to your competitors.
You got it. A good user experience can be a huge competitive advantage.
So how can businesses improve the user experience of their online stores?
Well, it starts with understanding your target audience.
Right, you need to know who you're selling to.
Exactly. What are their needs and preferences? What kind of design and functionality will appeal to them?
Like if you're targeting a younger audience, you might want a more modern and visually driven design.
Right. And if you're targeting an older audience, you might want to simplify the navigation and make the text bigger.
It's all about tailoring the experience to your specific audience.
Absolutely. And speaking of tailoring the experience, we can't forget about mobile responsiveness.
Right. That's more important than ever these days.
It is. Most people are shopping on their phones now, so your website needs to look and function perfectly on all devices.
Otherwise, you're missing out on a huge chunk of potential customers.
Exactly. Make sure your site is responsive, meaning it adapts to different screen sizes.
And test it on different devices to make sure everything works as it should.
Definitely. And while we're on the topic of making sure everyone feels welcome, let's talk about accessibility.
Accessibility.
Yeah, making your website usable for people with disabilities, like visual impairments, hearing impairments, motor impairments.
Right. That's incredibly important. Everyone should be able to shop online.
I completely agree. And it's not just the right thing to do, it's good for business too.
How so?
Well, by making your site accessible, you're opening it up to a wider audience, more potential customers.
That makes sense. So how can businesses make their websites more accessible?
There are a lot of ways. Using alt text for images, so screen readers can describe them to people who can't see them. Using clear and simple language. Providing captions for videos. Making sure the navigation is logical and easy to use.
Great tips. So designing a user-friendly and accessible online store is a multifaceted process.
It is, but it's so important. A well-designed store can attract more customers, boost sales, and build brand loyalty.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely. Creating a positive experience for your customers is the foundation of a successful e-commerce business.
Now, let's dive into one of my favorite topics, marketing. How can businesses use marketing to drive traffic to their stores and boost sales?
Marketing is all about getting people excited about your product or service. It's about connecting with your target audience, building relationships, and ultimately driving sales.
It's a vast field. Where do you even begin?
Well, the first step is to know your target audience. Who are you trying to reach? What are their needs, desires, pain points?
You got to know them inside and out.
Pretty much. Once you understand your audience, you can create marketing messages that resonate with them.
So, for example, if you're selling baby clothes, you wouldn't target your marketing to single men in their 50s.
Exactly. You'd want to target expectant mothers, new parents, grandparents, people who are actually interested in baby clothes.
Makes sense. So once you know your audience, What's next?
You need a marketing strategy, a plan of attack to achieve your desired outcomes.
So, like a roadmap for your marketing efforts.
Exactly. And your strategy should include a mix of tactics, both online and offline.
Like what? Well,
Online tactics include things like SEO, social media marketing, email marketing, content marketing, paid advertising. Offline tactics include things like print advertising, events, public relations.
wow, there are a lot of options.
There are. The key is to find the right mix for your business and your goals.
Now let's talk about SEO. I think a lot of people hear that term but aren't really sure what it means.
SEO is all about optimizing your website to rank higher in search engine results. When people search for keywords related to your business, you want your website to show up at the top of the list.
Because the higher you rank, the more visible you are to potential customers.
Exactly. And the more likely they are to click on your link and visit your site.
So SEO is all about making your website attractive to search engines.
That's a great way to put it. It's about using the right keywords, having high quality content, and making sure your website is technically sound.
What do you mean by technically sound?
Things like making sure your website loads quickly, is mobile friendly, and has a clear and easy to navigate structure.
So it's a combination of content, keywords, and technical optimization.
Exactly. And one more important aspect of SEO is building backlinks.
Backlinks, what are those?
Backlinks are links from other websites to your website. Search engines see them as a vote of confidence.
So the more backlinks you have, the more trustworthy your website seems to search engines.
Exactly. And the higher you're likely to rank.
It sounds like backlink building is an important part of any SEO strategy.
It is. It takes effort, but it's worth it.
Now let's talk about social media marketing. It's huge these days.
It is. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they have billions of users.
So how can businesses use social media effectively to market their online stores?
Create engaging content, stunning visuals, compelling stories, behind-the-scenes glimpses, valuable information.
It's about grabbing people's attention, right?
Exactly. And it's not just about posting content. It's about being active and responsive. Respond to comments, participate in conversations.
Be social.
Exactly. Engage with your audience, build relationships.
And of course, there's paid advertising on social media too.
Right. Most platforms offer advertising options to help you reach a wider audience and target specific demographics.
So you can use social media advertising to increase brand awareness, drive traffic to your website, generate leads.
Exactly. And it can be relatively affordable if you do it right.
Now, let's talk about email marketing. Is that still relevant these days with all the social media and instant messaging?
Absolutely. Email marketing is still one of the most effective ways to reach your audience.
Really? Why is that?
Well, unlike social media, where your messages can get lost in the feed, email delivers your message directly to people's inboxes.
So it's more personal and direct.
Exactly. And you can segment your audience and send targeted messages to specific groups of people.
So you can personalize your messages to make them more relevant and engaging.
Exactly. Email marketing is a great way to nurture relationships with your customers, build loyalty, and encourage repeat purchases.
So it's not just about blasting out promotional emails.
No, it's about providing value, staying top of mind, and building a connection.
What are some tips for creating effective email marketing campaigns?
Well, first, you need to build an email list. You can do this by offering a lead magnet, like a free ebook or discount code.
So give them something of value in exchange for their email address.
Exactly. And once you have a list, create engaging content that people will want to read. Informative articles, helpful tips, exclusive deals.
Make them look forward to your emails.
Exactly. And don't forget about the design. Make your emails visually appealing, easy to read, and mobile friendly.
And always include a clear call to action.
Right. Tell people what you want them to do.
Visit your website, make a purchase, whatever it may be.
Exactly. And track your results. See what's working and what's not.
So you can constantly improve your campaigns.
Absolutely. Email marketing is an ongoing process.
Now let's talk about content marketing. That's become really popular.
It has. Content marketing is all about creating and sharing valuable content that attracts and resonates with your audience.
So it's not about being pushy or salesy.
No, it's about providing value, building relationships, and establishing yourself as a thought leader.
It's about giving people a reason to care about your brand.
Exactly. Content marketing is a long-term strategy.
What kind of content can businesses create?
All sorts. Blog posts, articles, videos, infographics, ebooks.
The possibilities are endless.
They are. The key is to create content that's relevant to your audience and provides value.
And be consistent. Publish new content regularly.
Absolutely. Keep your audience engaged.
Now let's talk about paid advertising.
Paid advertising can be a great way to reach a large audience quickly.
But it can also be expensive if you're not careful.
That's true. You need to be strategic.
So what are some key considerations for creating effective paid advertising campaigns?
Well, first you need to identify your target audience and choose the right platforms to reach them. Then you need to craft compelling ad copy that will grab their attention.
And track your results.
Absolutely. See what's working and what's not.
So you can optimize your campaigns and make sure you're getting the most out of your ad spend.
Exactly. Paid advertising can be very effective if you do it right.
Now let's shift gears and talk about something that's absolutely essential for any e-commerce business. Customer service.
Yes. Customer service is the heart and soul of any business, but it's especially important in the e-commerce world.
Why is that?
Well, in a competitive online marketplace, providing exceptional customer service can really set you apart.
Right, because if customers have a bad experience, they can easily go to your competitors.
Exactly. You need to go above and beyond to make sure every customer has a positive experience.
So what are some tips for providing excellent customer service?
Be responsive, answer emails and phone calls promptly, respond to social media messages quickly, don't keep people waiting.
It's about making people feel heard and valued.
Exactly. And be genuinely helpful and friendly. Go the extra mile to solve problems.
It's about building relationships.
Exactly. And don't forget about proactivity. Anticipate customer needs, provide helpful information upfront.
Make it easy for them to do business with you.
Absolutely. Excellent customer service is an ongoing process.
It's an investment in your customers and your business.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about the importance of analytics.
Yes. Data is gold.
Why are analytics so important for e-commerce businesses?
Well, by tracking key metrics, you can gain valuable insights into customer behavior, identify areas for improvement, and make more informed decisions.
So what kind of metrics should businesses be tracking?
Things like website traffic, conversion rates, average order value, customer lifetime value.
What are conversion rates?
Conversion rates tell you how many website visitors are actually making a purchase. It helps you identify any problems in your checkout process.
So you can make adjustments to improve the user experience and increase sales.
Exactly.
And what about customer lifetime value?
Customer lifetime value tells you how much revenue a customer is likely to generate for your business over their entire lifetime as a customer.
So it's about focusing on building long-term relationships with your customers.
Exactly. And you also want to track your return on investment, or ROI, for your marketing campaigns. Make sure you're not wasting money on ineffective tactics.
So it's all about making data-driven decisions.
Absolutely. Analytics can be incredibly powerful.
Now let's look ahead to the future of e-commerce. What trends should businesses be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest trends is the continued rise of mobile commerce. People are shopping on their phones more than ever.
We've talked about mobile responsiveness before, but it's so important.
It is. Your website needs to be optimized for mobile devices.
What other trends are on the horizon?
Social commerce is gaining momentum. People are buying products directly through social media platforms.
So you can shop without even leaving the app.
Exactly. And then there's voice commerce. More and more people are using voice assistants like Alexa to shop online.
So we're talking about things like, hey, Alexa, order me more coffee beans.
Exactly. You need to optimize your website for voice search.
It sounds like the future of e-commerce is all about convenience and personalization.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something that's becoming increasingly important: sustainability.
Sustainability is crucial. Consumers are becoming more aware of the environmental impact of their purchases.
And businesses need to step up and show their commitment to sustainability.
Absolutely. There are a lot of things businesses can do. Choose eco-friendly packaging, offer carbon-neutral shipping, partner with sustainable suppliers.
So it's about looking at every aspect of your business and finding ways to be more sustainable.
Exactly. And it's not just the right thing to do, it's good for business too.
How so?
Consumers are more likely to support businesses that share their values.
Sustainability can be a competitive advantage.
Absolutely. It's a win-win for everyone.
Now let's talk about security. It's paramount for any e-commerce business.
It is, especially when you're handling sensitive customer data.
A data breach can be devastating.
It can. So what can businesses do to protect themselves and their customers?
What are some essential security measures?
Well, make sure your website is secure. Use an SSL certificate, which encrypts data transmitted between your site and your customers' browsers.
So that little padlock icon in the address bar is important.
It is. It means the site is secure. Also, use strong passwords and enable two-factor authentication for all user accounts.
That makes it much harder for hackers to get in.
It does. And stay informed about the latest security threats. The landscape is constantly changing.
Right, those phishing scams and malware attacks are getting more sophisticated all the time.
They are. You need to be vigilant and educate your employees about security best practices.
Everyone needs to be on board.
Exactly. Security is a team effort.
Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that's always exciting: innovation.
Ah, yes. Innovation is what keeps things moving forward.
It's what allows businesses to stay ahead of the curve and create new and exciting products and experiences.
The e-commerce landscape is constantly evolving.
It's a fast-paced world.
It is. Businesses need to embrace innovation.
So what are some of the most exciting innovations shaping the future of e-commerce?
Well, artificial intelligence, or AI, is definitely one of the biggest.
AI is everywhere these days.
It is, and it's changing the way we shop online. AI-powered recommendation engines can suggest products you might like based on your past purchases.
It's like having a personal shopper.
Exactly. And AI-powered chatbots can provide instant customer support.
So you can get help 24/7.
Exactly. AI can also automate tasks like inventory management and fraud detection.
It's like having a virtual assistant for your business.
Pretty much. AI is becoming indispensable.
Another exciting innovation is augmented reality, or AR.
Ah, yes. AR is amazing. It overlays digital information onto the real world.
So you can use AR to see how a piece of furniture would look in your living room before you buy it.
Exactly. Or try on clothes virtually. See how makeup looks on your face.
It bridges the gap between online and offline shopping.
It does. AR is still evolving, but it has huge potential.
And then there's virtual reality, or VR.
VR takes immersion to a whole new level.
It sounds futuristic.
It does. Imagine stepping inside a virtual store and browsing products.
That would be incredible.
It would. Some businesses are already experimenting with VR.
So the future of e-commerce is going to be very interesting.
It is. There are so many possibilities.
What advice would you give to businesses that want to embrace innovation?
Be curious, be bold, and be willing to experiment. Don't be afraid to try new things. And always put the customer at the center of your innovation efforts.
Great advice. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier: the human element.
Ah, yes. It's easy to get caught up in all the technology and forget that e-commerce is ultimately about people connecting with people.
At the end of the day, it's about building relationships and fostering trust.
Exactly. And that's something technology can't replicate.
So while it's important to embrace technology, it's equally important to nurture the human side of your business.
I couldn't agree more. Provide exceptional customer service, be responsive, build a strong brand identity that resonates with your audience.
Be authentic and transparent.
Exactly. People can spot a fake a mile away.
Be yourself.
Exactly. Let your personality shine through.
And don't be afraid to show your human side.
People want to connect with real people, not faceless corporations.
So share your story, your values, your passion.
Exactly. Those human connections build trust and loyalty.
Well said. It's been a pleasure talking about all this with you.
Likewise.
To our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We hope you found this helpful.
Check out the show notes for links to all the resources we mentioned.
And be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll dive even deeper into some key aspects of running a successful e-commerce business. Don't be afraid to show your human side. People want to connect with real people, not faceless corporations.
Exactly. Let your customers see the people behind the brand. Share your story, your values, your passions. It's those human connections that build trust and loyalty.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of e-commerce, I think it's important to remember that technology is just a tool. It's the human element, the passion, the creativity, the connection that truly brings an online business to life.
I couldn't agree more. Now, before we sign off, is there anything else you wanted to explore in relation to these e-commerce platforms? Any lingering questions based on your specific needs?
Actually, yes. The AltaHost article didn't dive too deep into this, but I'm curious about the products themselves. All these platforms and strategies are great, but they're useless without compelling products to sell.
You're absolutely right. The products are the heart and soul of any e-commerce business. So, let's talk about product selection. What factors should entrepreneurs consider when choosing what to sell online?
I imagine passion plays a big role. You need to believe in the products you're selling, right?
Passion is absolutely essential. Customers can sense when you're genuinely excited about what you're offering. It shows in everything you do, from the way you describe your products to the care you put into packaging and shipping.
Plus, when you're passionate about something, you're more likely to go the extra mile to make it a success.
Exactly. But passion alone isn't enough. You also need to consider market demand. Is there an audience out there who's actively searching for and buying products like yours?
Right, you don't want to end up with a warehouse full of products that nobody wants.
Exactly. Do your research, analyze trends, see what's selling well in your niche, and don't be afraid to niche down. Sometimes the more specific you are, the better.
So focusing on a specific niche allows you to become an expert in that area and cater to a highly targeted audience.
Precisely. It's easier to stand out and build a loyal customer base when you're the go-to source for a particular type of product.
Okay, so we've got passion and market demand. What other factors are important?
Profitability is crucial. You need to make sure you can sell your products at a price that allows you to make a profit after factoring in all your costs, including production, marketing, and shipping.
Right, it's a business after all. We need to make sure the numbers work.
Absolutely. Calculate your costs carefully, research your competition, and determine a pricing strategy that allows you to make a healthy profit margin.
And don't forget about shipping costs. Those can eat into your profits if you're not careful.
Very true. Shipping can be a logistical challenge for e-commerce businesses. You need to find a balance between offering affordable shipping options to your customers and protecting your profit margins.
Speaking of logistics, let's talk about sourcing and inventory management.
Sourcing products is a key piece of the puzzle. You need to find reliable suppliers who can provide you with high-quality products at competitive prices, and you need to make sure you have enough inventory to meet demand without overstocking and tying up too much capital.
It's a delicate balancing act.
It is. Inventory management can be tricky, but thankfully there are tools and software that can help you streamline the process and stay on top of your stock levels.
Technology to the rescue once again. Now, let's talk about product presentation. How do you make your products shine online?
Visuals are everything in e-commerce. You need high-quality product photos that showcase your products in the best possible light. Invest in professional photography, or learn how to take great photos yourself.
And what about product descriptions?
Product descriptions are just as important as photos. You need to write compelling and informative descriptions that highlight the features and benefits of your products. Think about what makes your products unique and desirable. What problems do they solve? How will they make your customers' lives better?
And don't forget about storytelling. Weaving a narrative around your products can make them more relatable and desirable. People connect with stories.
Absolutely. Share the story behind your products, your brand, your inspiration. Help customers connect with you on an emotional level.
So we've covered product selection, sourcing, inventory, and presentation. What about pricing? How do you determine the right price for your products?
Pricing is a complex art and science. You need to consider your costs, your profit margin, your competition, and your perceived value.
Perceived value. What's that?
Perceived value is how much customers are willing to pay for your products. It's influenced by factors like your brand reputation, your product quality, your marketing efforts, and the overall customer experience you provide.
So it's not just about the actual cost of producing the product, but also the value you're adding through your brand and the experience you create for your customers.
Exactly. You need to find the sweet spot that maximizes your profits without alienating your customers or undervaluing your products.
And don't be afraid to experiment with different pricing strategies. A/B testing can be really helpful here.
Absolutely. You can test different price points, offer discounts and promotions, bundle products together, or even experiment with subscription models. See what resonates with your audience and drives the best results for your business.
Now let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial in e-commerce. Building trust with your customers. It's much harder to build trust online than it is in person.
You're right. Trust is paramount in the online world. Customers are sharing their personal and financial information with you. They need to feel confident that you're a legitimate business that will protect their data and deliver on your promises.
So how do you build that trust online?
Transparency is key. Be upfront and honest about your policies, your pricing, your shipping procedures, and anything else that might impact the customer experience. Make it easy for customers to find the information they need.
And be responsive to customer inquiries. If someone has a question or a concern, address it promptly and professionally. It shows you care.
Absolutely. And don't forget about the power of social proof. Testimonials, reviews, and user-generated content can all help build trust and credibility. People are more likely to trust a business if they see that others have had positive experiences.
So encourage your satisfied customers to leave reviews and share their experiences on social media. Word-of-mouth marketing is incredibly powerful.
It really is. So to sum it all up, building a successful e-commerce business is a multifaceted endeavor. It requires careful consideration of your products, your platform, your marketing strategies, your customer service, your pricing, and your overall brand experience. But most importantly, it requires a deep understanding of your target audience and a genuine desire to create a positive and valuable experience for them.
That's a perfect note to wrap things up on. Thanks so much for sharing your insights with us today. It's been incredibly enlightening.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in to TechSphere. We hope you found this deep dive into PHP open source e-commerce platforms helpful as you embark on, or continue, your e-commerce journey. Remember, the right platform is out there waiting for you.
And don't forget to check out the show notes for all the resources we mentioned. And for more great content, subscribe to TechSphere.
We'll catch you in the next episode.